The sun cast a warm glow over the monastery as disciples gathered to hear the Buddha's teachings on life's uncertainties. Among them, a merchant named Ananda stepped forward, his face troubled by fears of the future and economic instability. Ananda bowed deeply before the Buddha, seeking wisdom to navigate the volatile tides of his struggling business ventures. "Master," Ananda began, his voice heavy with doubt, "I am burdened by fears of financial ruin and unpredictable market conditions." The Buddha listened intently, his serene expression comforting Ananda, like the still waters of a tranquil and untouched lake. "My dear Ananda," Buddha spoke, his tone gentle yet firm, "economic security is not found in clinging but in mindful practices." He continued, "Just as a farmer prepares the soil carefully before sowing seeds, so must you nurture trust and integrity. The essence of success is not wealth alone but the virtues that foster resilience during times of unpredictable challenges," Buddha explained. Buddha then gestured to the disciples and said, "Let me tell you the story of a diligent farmer's wisdom. There was once a farmer whose village faced relentless drought, threatening the crops and the livelihoods of its people," Buddha narrated. While others succumbed to panic and despair, the farmer shared his remaining seeds with his neighbors without expecting repayment, he continued. With mutual cooperation and diligence, they transformed adversity into a thriving community through patience, resourcefulness, and ethical farming, Buddha said. The farmer's virtues inspired others, creating unity and prosperity where fear and greed once prevailed, Buddha concluded the parable. Ananda listened, his mind opening to the profound truth embedded in the Buddha's wise and timeless words of strength and resilience. Buddha said, "Let your conduct reflect the virtues you admire. Let compassion and integrity shape your path. Regardless of challenges ahead, the future may be uncertain, but your actions rooted in mindfulness will influence the outcomes most aligned with inner clarity," Buddha explained. The disciples nodded in agreement, reflecting on the wisdom shared and its deep relevance to their lives and worldly pursuits. Buddha turned to Ananda, saying, "Do not let fears dictate your choices. Instead, let wisdom guide you through challenging uncertainties." Ananda bowed once more, his heart lighter, filled with gratitude for the guidance offered by the Buddha's compassionate teachings. The sun began to set, bathing the monastery in hues of orange and purple. As the disciples contemplated Buddha's profound wisdom, each sentence remained etched in their hearts as they sought to apply the teachings to their personal lives and professions. Buddha's presence, calm and unyielding, was a beacon illuminating paths unknown and easing the burdens of life's complexities. Another day, the monastery was alive with the gentle hum of nature and the murmurs of the disciples gathering together. Soma, a weaver of humble means, approached the Buddha, her face etched with worry over her uncertain economic future. "Master," Soma began hesitantly, "my craft is simple, and I fear it will not withstand the storm of financial instability." The Buddha regarded her with kind eyes, his voice steady and comforting as he began to speak profound words of wisdom. "My dear Soma," the Buddha said, "simplicity is not a weakness but a source of strength when embraced with gratitude and balance. Consider the tree outside this monastery," the Buddha gestured. "Its roots are deep, its needs modest, yet it provides abundantly. It takes only what it requires from the soil and sun, thriving in harmony with its surroundings," the Buddha explained patiently. "The key to resilience in uncertain times lies in finding contentment and balance. Just as the tree has done," Buddha elaborated. Soma listened, her heart stirring with newfound appreciation for the beauty of her craft and the wisdom shared by the Buddha. Buddha continued, "Let me tell you the story of a potter who transformed adversity through simplicity and collective harmony. There was a potter in a distant village whose livelihood faltered as the demand for her wares diminished drastically. Buddha began. Instead of succumbing to despair, the potter taught her neighbors the art of pottery. Building a community of artisans, Buddha said. Together, they innovated and shared resources, turning their individual hardships into a flourishing collective venture. Buddha recounted the inspiring story. The potter embraced simplicity and harmony, creating art born not of wealth but of resilience and community. Buddha concluded. Soma's eyes glimmered with understanding, a deep gratitude welling in her heart for the Buddha's teachings and profound guidance. Buddha said, "Your craft is a gift. Approach it with care, gratitude, and humility, and it will nurture your spirit. The path forward is not in fearing simplicity but in embracing it and finding strength in its harmonious rhythm." Buddha advised. The future may be unclear, but a heart rooted in balance will always find ways to adapt and thrive. Buddha added wisely. Soma bowed deeply, her worries eased, her spirit uplifted by the words that resonated deeply with her heart and mind. As the day drew to a close, the monastery echoed with the teachings that brought clarity and peace to seeking souls. The disciples carried the Buddha's wisdom within, a guiding light through the uncertainties and complexities of their paths ahead. Under the stars that stretched across the heavens, Soma found renewed purpose in her craft, contentment replacing her lingering fears. Another day, the golden rays of dawn illuminated the monastery as the disciples prepared for the Buddha's daily teachings. A king, accompanied by his retinue, approached the Buddha, his face burdened with the weight of his kingdom's challenges. "Master," the king began solemnly, "economic uncertainty looms, and I fear my people may suffer unrest and hardship as a result." The Buddha listened patiently, his serene expression unwavering as he prepared to share timeless wisdom for the troubled ruler. "My dear king," the Buddha said, "a ruler's strength lies not in control but in compassion and wisdom to guide their people. The future is uncertain for all," Buddha continued, "but stability begins with fostering education, ethical commerce, and mutual support among citizens." He gestured to the disciples, saying, "Let me share the story of two kingdoms that faced famine and chose different paths. In one kingdom, the ruler hoarded resources, creating division and resentment among the people, leading to chaos and greater suffering." Buddha began. In the neighboring kingdom, the ruler distributed aid wisely and promoted unity, teaching sustainable practices to ensure the people's resilience. He said, "The second kingdom thrived, not through wealth or control, but through compassion, foresight, and the strength of their community." Buddha concluded. The king listened intently, his heart moved by the profound lessons embedded in the Buddha's tale of wise and ethical leadership. Buddha said, "As a shepherd guides a flock to safety, so must you lead your people with care and foresight. A ruler's duty is to serve, not to dominate, to uplift, not to oppress, to unite, not to divide." Buddha explained, "Your actions and policies will shape the hearts of your people, lead them to virtue, and they will flourish." Buddha added. The disciples nodded in agreement, reflecting on the universal truths of governance and the importance of compassion in leadership. The king bowed deeply, expressing gratitude for the Buddha's teachings that illuminated the path forward for his troubled and uncertain kingdom. Buddha continued, "Do not let fear dictate your decisions. Instead, let wisdom and compassion guide you toward a just and stable realm. The strength of a kingdom lies in the collective harmony of its people, not in the wealth stored within its walls." Buddha said, "Lead with fairness, educate with purpose, and nurture trust, for these are the foundations of a prosperous and resilient society." He emphasized. The sun ascended higher in the sky as the teachings concluded, filling the monastery with a radiant and peaceful light. The king departed with renewed resolve, inspired to embrace the virtues of wisdom and compassion in his role as a ruler. The disciples remained, silently contemplating the Buddha's teachings and how they could apply these truths to their own lives and communities. Buddha's serene presence lingered in the hearts of all who had gathered, a guiding light through the uncertainties of existence. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.